Hey, I'm Lindsay with the Rockwell Group and eXp Realty. We were going to sit down today and talk about a couple things that we wish that we knew when we relocated to Southern Oregon. I went to high school out here and then I moved to Vegas for 10 years and then I relocated back as an adult. And a lot of things have changed since then, especially one of the things that I think I wish I had known was definitely as an adult, if you're relocating to this area, for younger singles, it's very difficult to meet people. There's not a huge area for people to kind of congregate or see other people the same age. There's not a ton of nightlife. And because the area is so rural, there's a lot of driving to and from places that could time be spent, mixing and mingling with other people at restaurants or doing things like that, that a lot of times just doesn't seem to happen. So it seems as though if I relocated here, one of the things that I would want to know is definitely what that market looks like for meeting people, friends, singles, that whole thing. It's very difficult here. What about you, John?
I relocated to Medford from a larger city. I had never lived in Oregon before. And I wish I would have known that the summers are a little different than I expected. Sometimes we get smoke from forest fires, but it's also drier than I thought. Whenever I pictured Oregon, I always pictured lush green forests and ferns and waterfalls. And even though we have the Rogue River here in Medford, we also have drought during the summer, oftentimes. And so the grass dries up a bit, the lakes evaporate a bit. And so I wasn't aware of that. I wish I would have done a little research and knew that ahead of time. Still doesn't really put a damper on some of those activities at the lakes and whatnot, but it is something I wish I would have known.
One of the other things that I think I wish I had known was, the conveniences of Southern Oregon. If you're used to having things like DoorDash or Uber in a larger city, that doesn't happen in some of the more rural areas. Medford and Grants Pass are catching up with that. They do have that, but if you live a little bit further out, you're not going to have that availability. Because of that, you're also not going to find a lot of restaurants and shops that are open on Sundays, kind of hours that you're used to being able to just conveniently go to other places and go shopping or eat at a restaurant. You typically aren't going to find that here. They tend to still be closed on Sundays, unfortunately.
Yeah, I also wish I would have known that the housing situation here was a little unexpected. Prices were a little higher than where I came from, but there's also at times a lack of supply. We have a large homeless problem as well here, where literal camps and little tent cities will get set up. They'll litter and kind of impact the environment in a negative way. And every few months, the city will come through and clean out all the camps, and then they return again. So it's kind of an ongoing problem I wasn't aware of before I moved here. And it's just kind of irritating to see, and to see this beautiful greenway that goes along Bear Creek here in town just being populated by homeless camps to an extent that you don't really even feel safe at times walking in those areas. And that's pretty sucky. I wish I knew was that a lot of the resources you need to have access to, like the DMV, are sometimes a little more difficult to get the services required. For example, here, since COVID started, we've had an appointments set up with DMV. Sometimes it'll be 2-3 months ahead just to get a title or registration done on your vehicle. Not that everyone wants to go to the DMV and hang out, but you do need to get these things taken care of. And there's just not enough of a workforce at that particular office, or there's not a good setup to solve the problem of providing enough access, enough open hours to certain resources that are needed.
One of the things that I wish I had known, and I kind of bit a bullet there, was that Verizon is undoubtedly the best cell service out here. We've had a lot of challenges with like AT&T and Sprint. And so if I had known that, I would have enlisted with Verizon a lot longer ago, and maybe not missed so many calls.
I wish I would have known that there's a bit of a lack of entertainment such as concerts and sporting events. There's definitely no major sport teams. There's a small university here, and they do have some sports, but it's not like seeing big time college football or basketball. There's definitely no Major League Baseball here or anything like that. And concerts, while they do come through from time to time, they're just few and far between. So I was used to having a lot of entertainment options and taking advantage of those. And without very many options, you just find other things to do, like going on a hike.
One of the things I wish I knew was, kind of the different places that younger people tend to go and have areas to hang out and have a little bit more of a culture. Medford seems to be a little bit older, where I like to go to Ashland and stroll like downtown and go shopping there. But also Grants Pass, they have a little bit younger of a scene for food and restaurants and shops and things like that there.
So if you're considering moving to Medford or Southern Oregon, think of the Rockwell Group, eXp Realty. We help hundreds and hundreds of people buy and sell homes in the area every year. We have a team of experts that are professional, courteous, and willing to help you with any real estate needs you have. Please give us a call, the number shown, or reach out via our website, and we'll be happy to help.